Escalation clauses. What are they? And if you're a buyer, should you try to use one? And sellers, should you consider them? In this video, I'll explain what an escalation clause is, you'll hear what I think about them, and then I'll ask ChatGPT what the pros and cons are to see if AI agrees or disagrees with me. Hi, my name is Mike McLaughlin. I'm a licensed real estate agent with Remax Capital Center, and I specialize in the Clintonville area. Escalation clauses have been used in real estate purchase offers for several decades. The use of the clause became more prevalent in competitive real estate markets, particularly during periods of high demand and low inventory. An escalation clause sounds something like this. In the event the seller receives more than one offer, buyer agrees to pay X amount, usually $1,000 or $2,000, over the highest offer received not to exceed X amount, the buyer's maximum purchase price. The clause also requires the seller to show buyer a copy of the purchase offer that the buyer has to beat. In the Clintonville area, we started seeing buyers' use of escalation clause shortly after the financial crisis abated, circa 2014. We had just come out of a severe recession where some households combined to save money and very little residential construction was done. When the recovery gained momentum, households uncoupled and the demand for houses returned at a time when supply was down. Buyers' use and sellers' acceptance of escalation clauses became so widespread in Central Ohio that in 2018, our local real estate board created an escalation addendum to attach to a purchase offer so that real estate agents didn't have to continually write in the escalation language. And that addendum looks like this. You can also see the addendum by going to my website, clintonvillerealestate.net, and clicking on the Forms tab, or just follow the link in the description below. So why would a buyer want to use an escalation clause? Well, the purpose of it is to let a buyer outbid competing offers without necessarily paying their stated maximum purchase price. But if the contract escalates to that maximum amount, the buyer is still in. And it is that point which makes me say that escalation clauses are good for buyers, but bad for sellers. It's been my experience that if sellers state that they will not entertain escalation clauses, buyers will submit their maximum purchase price as their original offer price. True life example. A cash buyer I was representing really wanted the house I just showed him. So much so that he wanted to offer $50,000 over list price. Before writing up the buyer's offer, I phoned the listing agent and asked if the seller would consider offers with an escalation addendum. The answer was yes. I informed my buyer of this and the strategy changed to offering $25,000 over list, but then use an escalation clause with a maximum purchase price of $50,000 over list. Guess what? The buyer was the winning offer and only had to pay $25,000 over list rather than the $50,000. He saved and the seller lost a potential extra $25,000. Escalation clauses, good for buyers, bad for sellers. Okay, now let's turn our focus to ChatGPT. My question was, what are the pros and cons of escalation clauses in real estate purchase contracts? I received three arguments each way. The pros were competitive advantage. An escalation clause can give a buyer a competitive edge over other potential buyers who may not be willing to increase their offer. Saves time. Rather than going back and forth between buyers, an escalation clause can save time for both parties by quickly resolving the bidding process. And third, increased chances of success. An escalation clause can increase the chances of the buyer's offer being accepted, particularly in a seller's market where there may be multiple offers. The cons were uncertainty. An escalation clause may introduce uncertainty into the transaction as a buyer may not know the final purchase price until the seller has accepted the highest offer. Overpaying. In some cases, an escalation clause may lead to the buyer overpaying for the property, particularly if the escalation clause results in a significantly higher offer than the property's fair market value. And lastly, limited applicability. Escalation clauses may not be suitable for all situations, and some sellers may not accept offers that include such clauses. So ChatGPT got the pros right, but it bombed on the cons. There is no uncertainty. The buyers know the price range because they set it. And for the same reason, they avoid con 2, overpayment. Finally, con 3, seller reluctance, is real. but GPT doesn't say why that is. The chance of making less than a buyer's maximum possible price. So that wraps up this discussion. I hope you found this video informative. If you'd like to hear more about the Clintonville area residential real estate market, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. I'll be back here soon with another video. Until then,